Kalispera, Kalinichta, no matter where in this wild, wacky, and sometimes wonderful world you might be. Thank you for making the Highbury Squad part of your day. Wow.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Wow, wow, wow. Where do we begin? Welcome to everyone from all corners of the earth to another live edition of the Highbury Squad. Before I get started, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who tuned into the David Ornstein show. If you missed it, please go check it out. And thank you to all of the new subscribers here at Highbury Squad. We really appreciate you. And we hope you're enjoying our content. You can go back and check out a whole bunch of classic archive episodes with some beautiful names from the beautiful game. And once again, thank you to each and every one of you. Hello, Squaddies. Good evening. At ease, at ease. Wow. I just need a minute. Sometimes coming on air immediately after a game, not a good idea. But with you guys, it's always a good idea because we find good conversation and comfort in the things that have happened. Please do listen to our Chief Like Officer, Tammy Stills, and hit the like button. And thank you, Mark, for the warning. Absolutely no hate here. Good evening, PW. Yasul Diganis, 5 years, nothing to show for it. Huge investment. Arteta out. That's going to happen a lot this evening, I'm sure. Joseph says, trust the process. Hertzy, welcome to Squad Central. Very frustrated. Gave a 2-goal lead away. 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline indeed. You know, a lot of the times I don't understand this statement, but most of the time it is proved correct. And yes, 2-0, very dangerous for us. We're going to get stuck into it. Hello, everyone, says K. Marlon. Saul says, our players are trash. They expect Mikel Arteta and hold their hands up. Let's not go down the trash route, yeah? Ian, disappointing. I'm not sure that hit his arm. Tebow, good evening to you. Can't defend without Saliba, says Chris. JD being sarcastic, talking about Arteta and who he's going to buy in the transfer window. If you really want to know the truth of that, go back and listen to our David Ornstein episode. Trevor, good evening to you as well. And 235 nothing left in Arteta's process. Was it really his fault today? We're going to get stuck into that. Double D, hello, says enough is enough. Reese says, all right, Soph, I'm so sick of saying it. Kroenke out, Arteta out. Oh, man. Are we really going to go there this evening? Sonny, good evening. Gutted. Title hopes over. Even with our injuries, that team should not be losing a 2-goal lead. Players need to take accountability for this one. Sonny, I think I'm going to be in your corner this evening. Blackshine, evening all. Nando, I could murder a Nando's right now. He is fuming. K. Marlon, throwing away a 2-0 lead is shameful. We had no game management. Archangel, 2-0 is fine if you can defend properly. Woody Wood, absolutely unforgivable. 2-0 up, think it's time. Gaza, cannot keep playing players out of position. PW thinks for him, KT should have been at left back. MLS right back, Partey. MLS has never played right back. Are you going to take that gamble in this game? If anything, I would have played MLS in midfield, but to be fair to Mikel Merino, this is probably one of his best games, but I'm sure there's going to be many of you who disagree with me on that one. Good evening, Wesbird. Good to see you too. Arteta's Muse, more bottling. Mohammed, Zakaria, need signings now. Not sure that is going to happen. Julian, good evening to you as well. Let's face it, we're just not good enough. We're going to get stuck into that. Sol is getting the old emojis out. Karthik says, the result doesn't even hurt. You reap what you sow. Summer window told me we don't want the league this desperately. Jean-René, we allowed their best crosses of the ball to sweep in pearls. We deserve better, in my opinion. Newman says his fury is palpable. Newman, you're angry every episode, so not sure about that one. Mark, someone please tell Arteta Thomas Partey is not a right back. You know, on the old social sphere, I was reading a lot of Arsenal fans praising Thomas Partey, Trossard and Martinelli in that first half for being our best players. As good as Partey was in some of his passing, he broke the lines at least twice in exceptional fashion. He gives the ball away so cheaply and done for pace at the back, especially as well. So, yeah, I couldn't see that. Why don't we get to the tippy top of the game mountain, right? So the starting 11, I'm not quite sure. I know some of you are talking about Miles Lewis-Skelly playing at right back. I'm not sure what other options he had when you look at the bench in terms of who could have played at right back. But this Thomas Partey right back exercise has to end. And if it does end, I want you guys to really answer me this honestly. If Thomas Partey doesn't play at right back, with these injuries, who does? Are you really going to set up Miles Lewis-Skelly for potential failure by putting him on the right? Do you know what foot he plays football with primarily? You can't. Would you have put Kivior at centre back and played Timber at right back? Does he trust Kivior? Clearly not. And I think he's left himself with a bit of a pickle here, because Benjamin White's not going to come back firing on all cylinders like he has done all season. Saul says, forget having a right back, play with a back three. We dominate so much that we have three defenders all game anyway. Let's see. TP is a great midfielder, but doesn't have the attributes to be a right back. Kivior at centre back and Timber at right back. That's exactly what I would have done, Mark. That's exactly what I would have done. I mean, Kivior hasn't been too bad this season when he's come in. When you have someone like Gabriel behind you, we managed the game quite well without Saliba for a while. But then when they possessed the ball, they were allowed to move the ball forward and whip those crosses in. That's when it was glaring. You know, Thomas Partey, Havertz on the second one, I'm not going to kill him. He went up, he tried to get the ball. But, you know, where were the defenders for that? I mean, where were they? Partey's had a very good season. Yes, gives the ball away, but does Odegaard, but no one calls him out. I don't think Odegaard had a bad game in this one. William says that he thinks the season is over. This was scenes from the dressing room before the game. Some great photos, which I'm sure none of you care about now, but I'm putting them up anyway because, you know, it takes work to pull this show together. Lewis-Skelly looked locked in. Gabriel looked locked in. Everyone looked locked in. But what happens to the Arsenal when we go up this season? We're not locked in. Can't keep a lead. This is becoming a little bit of a pandemic, and it's a problem. I mean, we just dipped after we went 2-0 up. And if you want to win the league, if you want to win a title, these are the games you have to win. Liverpool playing against a very good Brentford team that not many people have beaten at home. Seafold under Arsenal, Liverpool. They've had a prolific home record, but Liverpool found a way to win that game with Darwin Núñez. This is why when we did that show with Stevie Nicol, and I said, you know, you can pee on Darwin Núñez as much as you want. Liverpool fans have done, opposing fans have done. But when your options up front are Núñez, Jota, Gakpo, Diaz, Salah, you're going to get a goal from somewhere. And the moment for Arsenal where players have been under fire, Kai stepped up today, got a goal. I was so happy for him. Sterling comes on, could have an iconic moment, just can't do it. We don't have that X factor. We don't have the ability to do things like that. The one player that can in Saka is injured, but we've got to have answers to these adversity moments. And in adversity this season, we've been poor. This is our 8th draw. Our 8th draw. And I was getting ready to put up this stat and kind of gloat a little bit and say we're still in the title race. I have no idea where it is now. This one, our home record, against the top 6 and how many days it has been since one of these teams has beaten us at home. You can put that stat up all you like. What is it about Aston Villa? Well, I know we beat them 2-0 earlier this season, but some teams start to become a little bit of a mental block, and it is in our head. It's almost like preemptive that, you know, that we're predicting that this is going to happen. Like, I talked so much on the show. I was on LeGros show the other day. Where's the confidence? Where's the bravado? Where's the let's go in for the killer punch? And unfortunately, I don't want to hear about fatigue. I don't want to hear about any of that. We had the opportunities to kill off this game and win this game at home, and we allowed them the opportunity to come back. And it was poor. The defending was poor. The approach play was poor. And I'm not going to single out any player, but collectively as a group, when we want the players to move in their units and stick with where the game is going, the units failed. The orchestra collapsed. The symphony was over. And this is a real problem. You want to win the league, you've got to keep a 2-0 winner. Even at 2-1, manage the game. And I know a lot of you are going to blame Mikel Arteta, but for me today, to coin the phrase of a legend that was on this show, it's the players. Today, it's the players. How do you put your heads down and not stay mentally engaged in that match from beginning to end? And I said to you guys many, many times, the way Arsenal will be judged, the way that we're going to be able to make up those fine inches on these other teams is mental. And we have been mentally impotent in these big spotlight moments. This happened to us against Aston Villa exactly this time of year. And we're not learning from those adversity moments. PW says, Sophie, it's both ends of the pitch, lack clinical finishing. But we scored 2 goals today. We've all been complaining about the attack. They scored 2 goals. They gave us the upper hand. We should be able to see through and manage that game, PW. Pete thinks the season is not over. I still have faith of the team. I blame players today. Yes. Let's see. Saul says, right on, Sophie. It's all on the players. Mikel can't hold their hands and walk them through winning a game, having a 2-goal lead. Yeah. Marlon says, Sophie, Arteta's the one who put Partey at right back and he fell asleep. I just told you I disagree with this. But what is the other option? I gave you a solution as well. Play Timber at right back, play Kivior with Gabriel and Miles Lewis-Skelly where he is at left back. Arsenal, Browder says, it looks like they were trying to kill off the game, not win it. Arteta's players and style. I mean, Emmy was terrible in goal today and then had, a couple of moments. So Sophie, Namit says, Sophie, can't Arteta, Tierney, MLS, Gabriel, Kivior, Timber, Partey was at fault for the goal. He ain't a right back. I mean, like I said, I've given options. Elroy, our squad lacks a killer mentality. It's been evident for 3 seasons. This is true. I can't argue with this. Yama says Odegaard was shambles. Was he? Does anyone else agree with Yama? Liverpool just had Konate injured and in attack Jota at times with their bravery in attack, just what pushes them through. It's not only the bravery in attack, Charles. It's the clinical side of their game. I urge everyone to go listen to Thomas Frank's post-game interview today, where he talks about Liverpool versus Manchester City and Arsenal. And he called them levels above us. And on a day where Trossard, as Kelvin Bright Joseph Jr. says, he was brilliant. And that chance at the end, even if that had gone in, that would have been called off as well. He's not been the same since his injury, Tammy. I will say that. Odegaard, but I'm not going to kill Odegaard. I thought that he had a decent game. I think we want him to be the superhero all the time because he has been the superhero all the time. Odegaard, embarrassing. I guess Odegaard is the scapegoat for today. I mean, I don't know. Yes, Odegaard should not be Arsenal captain. Trossard, player of the match. Odegaard falling like a stack of cards. He's going through a bad patch, but I didn't think he was awful today. And he's not the reason why we lost today, is he? His delivery was good. I mean, you know, some of this set piece, I don't want to talk about the set pieces and stuff because it feels like what now everyone's expectations when we have set pieces. And we had 4 corners in the opening, 5-6 minutes. And did we become reliant on those? No, they became part of our toolbox and we've been able to execute. I really don't think the set piece coach, Nicolas Jova, should be standing on the sideline. I'm not going to go down the Gary Neville route, but it felt like times Rice was looking over and maybe distracted. Like, stop micromanaging from the sideline. If you've prepared in training, the players know exactly what to do. And can we just allow them the freedom to feel it as well? And we've adopted this new looping corner, which, yeah, it can cause problems, but it hasn't been as effective as our set pieces earlier on in the season. I don't know what you guys feel about that. And if you think I'm barking up the wrong tree, whether or not you think that is fair or foul. Odegaard played well today. All these people are making Odegaard the scapegoat, says Pete. Yes, Julian says there's 2 players we are missing. Yep, Saka. Well, of course. This life we lead is killing me, says Magic Mike. It really is. Please remember to hit the like button. 250 of you in live chat. Hit the like button. It helps the channel. I know it's not a good day and there's probably nothing you want to like. But if you like the broadcast, please do. We're here together. Let's get stuck into some other bits and bobs. Archangel says, I agree. Gabriel Rice should be captain. Jesus Christ. Odegaard, not great today, but Trossard is unbelievably wasteful in front of goal. Terence says, Arteta manages like he played football. Too safe. We weren't saying that for the last 2 seasons, were we? We're certainly saying it this season. Okay, I'm done defending Sterling as well. I mean, he came on with, 10 minutes to go? Got the free kick at the very end of the game, which Odegaard's probably poorest delivery, putting it way too close to Emmy, McLeod, Martinez. Yeah, it's just, this was joyous. This was the one joyous thing in the game. I know it's hard to pick out joyous moments, but seeing him just kind of be a bumbling nerd, it was really a joyous thing. And I thought Martinelli was really good today in the first half, fell away again in the second half. But, you know, I think he's hit some good form at the right time. And his goal, he took it really, really well, played with confidence and, you know, has been doing a lot better than how he started the season. So, yeah, I'm struggling now to kind of stay and keep it positive for you guys because it is a really down moment. I really thought we were going to win this game. I really did. And then when Havertz scored, I was so happy for him. It was a really great moment. And I thought that was going to be the narrative of the day after everything that he's been through and how everyone's rallied and supported him. I just thought, wow, this is perfect. And then we know what happened. And this is how I felt at the end of the game. I was exhausted physically, mentally. I had nothing left to give. So can we discuss the elephant in the room as well? I'll get a few more of your comments up and I really want to talk about this. Rice more active than Odegaard, who lost possession 18 times today. By the way, if you get some Mikel Arteta quotes, please do lob them my way. Nameblock says Havertz is a drag on the club. Priska, the board needs to buy more players. We were near perfect for 60 minutes. This is it, Sunak. Thank you very much. I thought we controlled that game. Sure, there were moments where Villa looked dangerous. There was a great save from David Raya in the first half. They hit the post, which could have been a second goal sooner. They were really good in the second half. You know, credit to them, whatever they said and did at halftime, it worked. But I thought we were really good. Following on from the Tottenham display, we were controlling the game. And then, unfortunately, 2 defensive lapses and bad moments cost us. Should we have gone on and scored more goals? Yeah, of course. But we gave ourselves the upper hand with a 2-0 lead with 25, 30 minutes to go at home, where our record has been superb in the Premier League. Hi, James. Terence, Arteta was born to draw games. 8 draws. 8 draws. Carol, good evening. I'm exhausted and frozen. Catch up when I get home. Thanks for ducking in, Carol. Let us know what you think in the YouTube comments, as you always do. Freezing night. We'll get to the fans. Barry, I love Big Gabby. He's such a great leader and was looking to get on the ball even at the end. And he made some phenomenal tackles. That player is a baller and he deserves credit. He held the line so well, but in the end, he couldn't do it on his own. He needed the help. He really missed Saliba today. Let's see. We finish with nothing this year. Has to go, doesn't he? I'm not sure about that. Let's see. What else have we got? Jason. Trossard missed 2 easy chances, 1 in each half. We will never know if he was offside with the last chance. He should have buried it like Nunes, who scored harder goals today. Aki says players are not good enough. Manager is making mistakes. Owners are not showing enough ambition. Transfers are shit. What do we expect to win a title like this? Barry says MLS looked good again. Wes Bird said Trossard worked hard. Shafiq says too many players injured. Yama says this Arteta and recruitment's fault. We have no game changers. This is what I was saying. Kind of when you're relying on Sterling to come on and be the game changer, you know. Even when it went to 2-2, I felt like the Marino moment was kind of the Reece Nelson Bournemouth moment. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Did you guys think it was a penalty? I'd like to go back and look at it over and over again. To me, it felt like it hit Havertz's torso. It wasn't clear and obvious for me. Maybe that's because I did one of those stupid things where the goal was scored and I ran down the street screaming like a lunatic. By the way, wasted energy. Not going to do that again. K Marlon says not a penalty. PSAB says not a handball. Magic Mike says it definitely wasn't a penalty. Highbury Squad, do you think Arteta should stay if we win nothing this year? I think we'll talk about that on another show. I might give him he's not going anywhere. This is why I think I don't like talking about it, because he's not going anywhere. So I'm not sure it's worth the energy for us to discuss it, because it's not going to happen. You know, the owners are vested in Mikel Arteta. Not a pen was a handball. Huh? Let's see. It's not obvious, but Neville insisted it was going to be chalked off, so they did. And it happened pretty quickly on NBC too. It happened very, very quickly. They checked it so quickly, should have shown slow-mo on screens. Dominic says it hits his right forearm coming off his stomach. Watch the freeze frames. And this is the problem, right? Now we're watching football in slow motion and in freeze frames. Archangel says, I've seen it from behind the goal, Sophie. It was handball. Okay, I'll go back and I'll look at it. This is our luck. I'm not killing the referees and VAR and whatever, but this is our luck. It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't. Names Block says it was a handball. Even Ollie Watkins said post-match it wasn't a handball. I'd like to see that. No pen, says Trevor. Arteta is staying, so get behind the team. Yes, this is true. His arm is by his side by the rules, but the rules were followed by Kavanagh. The rule is the problem, not the referee. And this is something we've talked about a lot on our show, isn't it? How the rules are the problem and sometimes not the refs. Looked like a handball. Don't know why he celebrated. Well, the glaring thing was Mikel Merino did not celebrate. And maybe he saw something. Wesbird says goal should have stood as he didn't move his arm at all. Yeah, I mean, this is the problem once again. The rules. So we're mixed on the handball. I'm sure the majority will feel it was a handball. I'd like to go back and look at it again. Baguna thinks it wasn't a penalty. Chief Luck Officer rallying the troop. Lady Luck is on Liverpool's side. Now you can see why Arteta goes defensive after going 1 or 2 goals up and fans start complaining. Yeah, but we didn't defend. Mike Hertzy, our chief quote officer, I accept why the goal is ruled out. I do think it's odd that if it was a defensive passage of play, they wouldn't say it was a handball because there's no time to react. Very interesting. Braintail says it hit his hands. We don't want to win like that. How do we want to win? We just want to win. Who gives a toss if that decision went against Aston Villa? We have been on the receiving end of many bad decisions. I couldn't care less, I have to say. It's not cheating. It's football. And this is what's happening. But yeah. Painful, painful stuff. What are we going to do? Do you think it's over, guys? Do you think it's over? Is the title race over? We've still got to play Liverpool. Liverpool still have to play Man United, Man City, us. I really felt like when I was on Pedro Legrove the other day, I said I felt like this had an Anfield 89 kind of vibe brewing. Everyone writes us off. We're points behind. Liverpool's wheels haven't come off. They haven't really faced their adversity other than Jota and Alisson. Kanate, of course. Their injuries haven't been as severe as ours, but they're finding ways to win. And I tell you something, I really dread the narrative if Arne Slot wins the Premier League in his first season. I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record. He inherited a world-class team. Liverpool are not only the best team in the Premier League right now, they are the best team in Europe right now. Their offensive power is insane. They have at least 4 world-class players. But the narrative is going to be, look what Arteta has spent and look what Arne Slot has done in his first season. I mean, did Arne Slot inherit a broken club, a broken team, a broken culture, broken players, broken fans, broken everything? We were broke. And it's taken a long time to fix us. But this team now in the last 3 seasons has been in his image. These are his players. The cleanup was done a long time ago now. And when you come so close 2 seasons in a row, you know, it hurts. And this will hurt these players. But that passion and that bravado, like I said at the top of the show, that we've seen in the last 2 seasons has disappeared. Just don't know if these players have that belief. Gabriel, you feel him. He believes every single game. He believes he's going to score from a set piece. He believes in how he's playing. Miles Lewis-Skelly looks like he believes. Some of the other leaders in the team, Timber, who's become so important to this team, there's too many players having off games on the same day, and there's too many players who have had an off season in the same season. And like if Thomas Partey doesn't play at right back and Timber plays at right back and Kivior plays at centre back and Partey's in midfield with Odegaard and Rice, and Merino didn't have a bad game today, but do we win that game? It was all fine and we were 2-0 up, but then it's the moments. It's like the passage of play. It's being, you know, passive in the final third. It's the fine margins, the fine inches where you've got to dot the I's and cross the T's and really execute the game plan and stay engaged mentally. You can tiki-taka all day long. Pass sideways, pass forward. It ends in nothing. If you're not right here, you're not going to close out games, let alone win them. And that's where I would question Mikel on the decision. That's my only qualm today, is when you've seen this movie over and over again, should you have opted for a different backline when you've seen Thomas Partey at right back a few times now. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. We overplay our attackers, Sophie. Paul rotate. Nobody gets 92 games in a row, bar Salah. Let's see. This manager is not getting sacked unless he loses the dressing room. Yeah. And as now, he's still attracting players, Zubimendi. Yep. Good evening, Mrs. Potts. How are you? Hope you're well. Liverpool equal men, Arsenal equal kids. Not sure that's fair. I think the Ozil, Mustafi, Kolasinac era was kind of apathy, immaturity. I think these guys have grown and played like men over the last 2 seasons. We're just not closing. Sports is about closing. Always be closing. And we are not closers. We haven't proven ourselves to be closers. And you know what's interesting too for me is when Mikel Arteta inherited Arsenal, I wanted to put this up from Sadiq because he said the narrative for Arteta winning the FA Cup that he won with Emery's team, and I've said that all along, right? When he inherited Arsenal, we were a cup team. And he transformed us back into a competitive Premier League team. And we've kind of fallen aside on the cup side, right? So you have to make sacrifices when there's so many games to play. How seriously are you taking the cup competitions over the last few years? I mean, he's taken them seriously this year. We've fielded a strong team against Newcastle in the semi-final. And then when you see teams like Bournemouth spank Newcastle, these are the things that keep me up at night. These are the teams that, these are the types of performances we were putting in. And that's the frustrating part. Something's off, something's missing. I've been saying it for weeks. Now, I know anything can happen in football, but we've really made it tough for ourselves now. I'm going to I know there's going to be a lot of people saying, Soph, you're crazy. There's no way. The title race is over. And maybe so for you. But I've seen a lot in football to keep believing. The problem is this, right? For me, Liverpool might falter and come across some adversity. Who knows what's going to happen with the Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk, Mo Salah situation, but it's not affecting their performances on the pitch. They're playing, they're performing, they're winning. And if they do slip up, I don't know if I trust us this season to capitalize on them slipping up. That's the big difference between this season and the last 2 seasons. I always felt like we were in the fight and we were ready to pounce. And generally, we like being the hunter. We do not enjoy being the hunted. And mind you, last season, when Liverpool dropped points and were out of the race, they did not like being the hunted either. But the discipline that Arne Slot has brought to this team, he deserves credit. I mean, the heavy metal football that Klopp was playing left them susceptible. Yes, they won Champions League and Premier League and domestic cups, but they were vulnerable. This team doesn't look particularly vulnerable. And he's been able to find a balance between being lethal in attack, moving the ball quickly. Everyone talking about Newcastle's midfield being the best midfield in the Premier League. If they were the best midfield in the Premier League, they'd be top of the league. Liverpool have the best midfield in the Premier League right now. The way they move the ball and the way they protect their back line is beyond impressive. And the way he's been able to marry defense and attack and that midfield engine has been nothing short of superb. I've actually felt a bit sorry for Declan Rice in the last 2 games. I feel like he's tried to put the team on his shoulders. He's been the engine, never stops running, never stops grinding. Could have had a great goal today, didn't. And that's the difference. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. We can't keep saying we could have, we might have. The title race is, you got to play now. You got to perform now. You got to get results now, especially at home. And we have played a lot of football, and there's a lot of people that will talk about fatigue. But as I said earlier, Everyone's playing a lot of football. And if you want to be a big boy club and be in all the competitions, you've got to be prepared to play a lot of football. Jamie says that Arteta is the Spanish Brendan Rodgers. You know, he may end up being our Brendan Rodgers. Maybe he was the project guy. Maybe he was the process guy. Process has led to progress. Now you've got to back that up with success. And, you know, the journey is beautiful. And we talk a lot about the journey. But I do and am very interested in reaching the final destination. You can enjoy the journey, but then when you get to the final destination, let me tell you, it is euphoria. It is beautiful. And eventually people remember us as a really good team the last 2 seasons, but we're not the ones with, you know, the star on our back. Manchester City are. Liverpool might be this season. You know, for Liverpool fans, it was okay not winning the Premier League for 30 years. They were in Champions League finals. They won the Champions League. Makes a big difference. Terence says destination unknown. Polo Mint. Oh, I do love a Polo Mint. LFC fan here. We both need goal scorer. Believe me. Polo Mint. I've been lauding your 5 options in attack. Doesn't seem like you need a goal scorer. Talk to us about this. By the way, we have no empathy for you. But as a Liverpool fan, thank you for joining. We do have a lot of listeners from other clubs as well, and we appreciate them. Turning into Pochettino Spurs. You know, Jamie, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you on that one. I'm not. Valid point, potentially. Maybe we're better built for the Champions League than we are for the Premier League. It feels like our slow game suits the Champions League. Want to play like a snail? No, we're not Usain Bolting it in possession going forward this season. You know, we Greeks like to eat snails in a pot with tomatoes, and we call it gologouin. Someone will correct me. Anyway, it's delicious. But I digress. Okay, what about some... I was going to invite people in to have a chat, but you know what? Maybe we'll do it another day. Physically and mentally, I'm absolutely spent. Let's start giving some ratings, shall we? Why not? Let's do that. Liverpool have credit in the bank, but Klopp started the soft rebuild before Slot joined, actually. Let's see. We're going trophyless. Only 2 things can make me feel better right now. Vesper or more cowbell. Vesper is really upset. I'm a vegetarian, Sophie, so no. I'm telling you, snails are delicious. Or as the French like to call them, escargot. The French like to really oil and butter up their snails. We Greeks like to put it in a deep pot filled with tomato juices and garlic. And then you suck them out. Now, that's not me doing my Hannibal Lecter. I once had a snail with a nice bottle of Chianti. I don't know what to say anymore. Snails are nasty. You know what's nasty? Drawing 2-2 at home to Aston Villa. What's your I mean, Emery did well today. What's your rating for the gaffer today, guys? How do you think he did? What do you think? A rating for the gaffer. What do you think about timing of subs? And I mean, our subs bench, Jesus Christ, that was thin, wasn't it? It was thinner than a thin crust pizza from Domino's. I mean, oof, not good. Didn't really have much options, did he? Let's be honest. But again, I know many of you will say, oh God, here we go. Who bought Marino and Calafiori? Yeah, I know all of that. I know. 2 from Elgbaz, 4 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 6, 5 takes off our best attacker. I didn't understand that. What has happened to our captain, Sophie? Coming back from injury, he's not been the same. 4, 6, 6.5, and confidence. This team is lacking in confidence. They've got no bravado. I know, I'll stop sucking the snail thing. I just thought I'd take your minds off the loss, which it appears I did for just a couple of minutes there. 250 of you in live chat. Hit the like button if you hate snails, and hit the like button if you love Highbury Squad. We lost today due to schoolboy errors, says 777. -2, says C-Lou. Jesus Christ. Martinelli and Trossard were good. All right, then. So let's get to this. I know we lost, right? And I know it's tough. But do you have a player of the match? Do you have a player of the match? And it can't be an Aston Villa player. Who's your player of the match? Let's hear it. For me, it's Trossard. I thought he had his best game all season, and he riffed off the North London derby. The only thing that was missing for Trossard was a goal. He deserved to get the winning goal today, and unfortunately, he whiffed on a couple of chances. But I thought that he had a great game. Trossard, hi Jags, how you doing? Good to see you. Seb says Trossard, DJ says Trossard, Ian says MLS, TE says Trossard, Barry says Trossard, Jamie's got Trossard, Chief Like Officer got Trossard, can't wait to switch things up to the NFL, gotta tell you. Gaza, are you the real Gaza? Rice, Partey, come on now you're pulling my leg, right? Rice, what are we rating? We're rating, well, right now, DJ, we're picking our player of the match. You may have missed the rating for Mikel Arteta, so squeeze it in if you can. Jimmy Mack says Trossard. Yurik says Trossard and Martinelli. Show my Trossard art. I don't think I've got on hand your Trossard art, Newman. And it's not about you right now, okay? Bottled it again, typical Arsenal. Real Gaza would be making a lot of typos. Liverpool will drop some points and bottle it, says Thomas Hollingsworth. I like how you think. I'm not calling it yet, Thomas. I'm in Thomas's camp. It isn't over just yet. I feel there's another twist and another turn. But I stand by saying, will we be ready for the twist and the turn? It's going to be like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. You know, the end of Sixth Sense. Are we going to be ready for the twist? Will we see it coming? A lot of people did see the twist in the Sixth Sense coming. Barry says, I hope you're right. Listen, my role here is to be as honest as I can be and speak truths. I thought we played well today. But defensively, for those 2 goals, we were absolutely shocking. And we let ourselves down. Mentally, we collapsed. And if you want to win a title, you got to be stronger than that. You go 2-0 up at home, defend your lead, defend your turf, and close out the game and win. There was no room for Arsenal to draw again. And here we are, our 8th draw of the season. It's just not good enough to win a title, especially when you're chasing Liverpool with the amount of points they have. But I do stand by saying it isn't over yet. For me, if it's over for you, you let me know. And you have done in live chat. And if you're listening on replay, which many of you will be, let me know in the YouTube comments if it is over for you. The January transfer window is still open. But if you listen to our show with David Ornstein, the thing to be looking out for is international loans versus big dog signings. Those won't happen until the summer, if they happen in the summer. But you just need a couple of players to come in here and, you know, pick it up, score more goals, create more chances. And is Mikel Arteta going to take the handbrake off? He's not. It felt like we played with the handbrake off a little bit in that first half. We got off to a fast start. We did all the right things. We put ourselves in positions. We got set pieces. And then everything slows down. I'd like for us to keep on killing when we're 2-0 up. Kill the game off. And it hasn't happened. Sianda says, let's get real. It's over. Seb says, of course it's not over. Come on, it's January. Yeah. Yalko says, nothing is over yet. Let's see. We got quote from Arteta, Hertzy. Arteta on the goal, defending the way that we did, especially one of the goals. It cannot be part of our game. And this is why I'm standing by the manager this evening, because barring the decision to play Thomas Partey at right back, I gave you my solution. Let me know what you think on YouTube as well if you're listening on replay. And the defense and taking on and the subs maybe, you know, but he didn't really have much of a choice. Whose fault is that? It's the club's fault, right? I hear you. But he's not the one playing and defending today. Those moments at this point in the season just can't happen. You can kill off a game by defending well. This is true. This is very, very true. Let's see. Wait, how can you say you need goal scorers yet you had 2 goals and you bottled it? Sports World. Because sometimes Sports World, the fine margins in football is having a player. If Sterling could just score 5 or 6 goals, could be the difference. Last season, we had 4 players with 15 goals plus assists, more than anyone in Europe. That's gone. It's evaporated. So yeah, having someone on the team who can get you 5, 6, 7 goals could be the difference. Pure delusion, says Arsenal, the history and more. By moi? Am I delusional? Oh, fine. I'll be the delusional gooner of the day. Arsenal players don't have the we have done. It's gone. It's missing. We've got to get it back. Who's going to be the spark? You'd want it to be Odegaard, right? Spark's missing. I know. I hear you. Didn't think he was as awful as a lot of you thought today, but the spark sort of come from somewhere. Can't just be a Saka. We're not a one-man team. It can't just be Saka's not here. And I know many people have got excited about Benjamin White being back in training and stuff. We need someone like that to come back into the team. I mean, that right side's going to be different because he doesn't have Saka in front of him, but also he's coming back from a long-term injury. We need what David Ornstein said in terms of the international loans. I mean, would you guys be adverse to a Leroy Sané right now or a Coman? Pedro was talking about those 2 players on his podcast yesterday. I'd take them. I would take those players. They immediately improve the team. You need players who are ready now to come in and contribute. January is not the time for the project and the process. January is the time for doing and closing deals and bringing players who can immediately help your side. That's what we need. All right, we agree on something, Braintails. I like Sane and Coman. Yeah. Yes, says Yarka. Okay, now you're trolling. This is the most ridiculous comment. I might just screenshot that just for prosperity. He's feeling the pressure without Saka because, you know, when they say that he, Saliba and Saka are our best players, you feel the pressure. And again, we can't be in a situation where we lose a player like Saliba, concede goals and say, oh, well, you know, without Saliba, we can't win. We've got to be better than that. We just do. And for like 65 odd minutes, we were the better team today. I would say we were the better team on the day. But football's about taking chances, staying in the moment. And this season, we're not doing that. And I don't think you can argue with that. You can still believe in the team, support the players, support the manager, all of that stuff, and still think that, you know what, we're not that great. And the truth is, we're not that great. We do not look like Premier League champions. But, you know, I've seen weirder things happen. When Chelsea won their Champions League, were they the better team? No. You know, were Leicester City really the best team that season they won the title? Well, on paper, no, but they got results and they played and they believed in themselves. Can't believe I'm bringing Leicester up as an example. Strike that. Okay, let's wrap this up, shall we? We are, you know, we're in a situation and it's not that great and we got more tough games coming up. And you know what? We've had a lot of home games. It's not been great. The Newcastle game wasn't great. The Man United game wasn't great. The Tottenham game was absolutely superb and stellar. You've got to follow up those wins with, pile it on. Beat Villa. Drawing with Emery. Letting them take us, to task again at home. At some point, you've got to flip the script. Turn the page. The day winning with sub-bar teams are over thanks to Pep. Okay, Silu, you just redeemed yourself with that comment. Hit the like, you hags, says Newman. Newman will be announcing the final decision on your coin or no coin next week. By the way, you guys, there is an event happening at the Hippodrome in London on Friday with our good friends Dan Potts and Lee Judges. It's This Is London Live, and it's going to be a great time. And they've got some really good stuff happening, giveaways, a really incredible signed shirt from an absolute legend. This Is London Live. You can get your tickets. It's in the description of this show. We're supporting Dan and Lee. I'm hoping to be there as well. I'm hoping to be at the Champions League game on Wednesday, but I'll keep you posted about that. So go get yourself a ticket. It's only 10 quid to get in. You got to be 18 plus. And please do support the boys who support us on the Highbury Squad by coming to visit and talk football with us. This is London Live. It's this Friday, 7:45 p.m. at the famous Hippodrome Casino in London. All right. So get your ticket today, and hopefully I will see you there. And if I'm there, I'll do my bit on the panel. Why not? All right, kids, that is it for today. Thank you to all of you who have been in the live chat. I appreciate you so much. Try to keep your spirits up and try to, stay positive if you can. Don't go over the deep end. There's still a lot of football to play. And it's the return of the Champions League this week, which we will be discussing on Monday Madness with another very special guest. Once again, thank you to everyone who tuned into the David Ornstein Show. Thank you to all of the new subscribers. We really appreciate you. Stick with us because there's going to be a lot more great guests to come on the show. And the Squaddies all vouch for me. We get some really great people on the show. We love talking football outside of post-game and tactical stuff. We like talking about the game in so many different ways with so many great people. Right. Much love, Highbury's local badger. I will put up some comments. Keep your peckers up. Thank you. That's cool. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you so much. That's it. That's all I got time for. Take care. Have a great weekend. To our American viewers who be enjoying the NFL, enjoy the games. And to each and every one of you, no matter where in this wild, wacky, and sometimes wonderful world you might be, hit the like button on the way out. It's free. The show's free. And we would appreciate it. Okay, Gooners, Squaddies, at ease. And remember the rule. Don't forget to tell your loved one you love them. We'll get stuck more into what went wrong, what went right on Monday for Monday Madness. Until then, take care. Good night.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Very positive comments at the end there.